So, this is the last 19 minutes of Officer Yates's body cam.
So just tell the doctor that you guys are aware of crime and you're not following through on pulling your tactical. That's why they've given me a diagnosis. Because you won't follow through. Harassment, if you didn't know what it was. Right, it's your job. Wow. And I defend my rights. Stand up. This is what I've done. Nothing about it. Wow. Still got the report?
Haven't even got that far. Somebody asks for help, you would know. And then you punish because they speak up.
eligible to cry, and you do nothing about it.
I'm the victim. As you say, I'm the one with a mental illness? You're on the wrong side of the bed.
Solving the original problem. And it goes on and on, creating more suffering. But you don't do anything. And Patty Ryan had to get involved really early. There was, in fact, a whole neighborhood meeting about what to do with me because of lies. You know that? I bet the police were there. So, we're committing collusion with the neighbor. You're committing illegal acts. But you think you're above the law. Because you are. Trouble. When people are in trouble and need help, they call you. All I get is ignored. You know how much I've tried? Why don't you help? Technology that Marvin has brought into the neighborhood. It's illegal. It's not even his. Do you know how to tell? Patent. He doesn't have one. I hope y'all didn't purchase it. That makes you responsible for purchasing illegal surveillance equipment. On my windows and every night, and you do nothing about it. You say it's a mental illness. You guys want to use it to scare people and to as California. I don't get services from you guys is a huge problem. Why don't you think I deserve to have my crimes addressed? Am I that bad of a person? I'm an excellent person. I have outstanding character and integrity. And you think I'm a piece of shit? Because Patty said so. Patty said yes. And y'all believe it. Maybe you're hungry. Make sure you let Frank know my information too, because he seems to be pretty involved. He called frequently to find out if the paperwork was ready. He was anxious to do something. Why would he be so anxious to do something? Ding, 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 ding. Because Patty Ryan called him. It's really easy. So make sure you let Frank know. Cybercrimes that keep happening because people have access to my network. What do I do about those? Do I just have to live a life without any sort of privacy?
Block your network.
a password or something like that?
Yep.
See, that's the problem with our account. They have immediate access of knowing all of your passwords. Ever. Sure. You should look into it. R&M. Bring more power. It's dangerous.
This might be him. Yeah, I think so. I'll let you see. Well, I gotta stay with him. I said I'll let you look, but see if that was him walking up with Frank.
He's done really well with all this.
That's his property.
Hey,
Let me unbuckle you here.
okay, my glasses fell too. Thanks. Thank you.
Step on. We're gonna hand you off to him.
Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, not too great. Can I ask you what you guys have done about the three, I've been 3 reports. There's one in, and nothing's been done.
Whatever. These guys have had you all day. I'm not surprised you were that, to be honest with you.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Howdy, howdy. Oh, good.
Oh, you're just being
This is probate. All right.
Oh.
So we're getting a wheelchair and we're going to see triage.
He's going to leave them for hours.
Hey, sir, if we bring you up to triage, you can answer the nurse's questions. You can ask about your blood pressure, heart, stuff like that.
Yes, I have to.
Okay. We'll get a wheelchair for you in a second. This is Robert, Mr. Milligan. He prefers Mr. Milligan. Mr. Milligan? All right. Hang on just a second. I'm going to lock this, okay?
I wish you guys would have done that. Nothing to do. Instead of trying to do a job, you try to do it your own time. So off with it. You can write a ticket. So write me a ticket, and then we get the fuck around.
The gaps are double locked. Okay, thank you. Just so he's just had it out.
It's
No
not all
worries.
you can do. Tell me that I'm not doing anything wrong.
That's a probate. My camera's still on.
That's it. So, to this person, I don't know. It was nice not talking to you. You were in the vehicle, and I don't know who you are, but you got one of those things. Mine's invisible. Just like the program that has me trapped, living life as a second-class citizen in a first-world country. We gotta start treating each other right. And that philosophy can start with government. It can be a shift in thinking. Because if government's looking out for us, we can do amazing things. Instead of being fed propaganda to build pride in the nation, we could actually have it inside of us, and it would be real. For too long, government's pretended it's something it's not. And learning of the disappointing things I have about what our government's doing, it makes me sad. Today, I don't look at an American flag the same way that I used to. There was a period of time during my capture when I would cry every time I saw an American flag, because it didn't represent me. It was my flag, but I wasn't a part of it. The Targeted Individual Program is one of the craziest programs I've ever heard of. One of these days I'll need to ask Dick Cheney, what's the purpose of this program? Because all I can see it doing is creating harm, disunity. It's polarizing the nation, and it's a huge weight on our economy because of lost productivity and a person's sphere of influence goes down to zero. Government's pretty involved in that happening to every Thai's life because of the program. If we focus on a solid foundation of morals and ethics, we will be the best nation in the world, and nobody will be able to touch us. If we're going to make a change, whether it be population growth or saving the environment, whatever we tackle, if we go in with the philosophy of a more sound and good ethic and moral code, we're just going to be the best ever. It takes teamwork to do something. And for too long, finding the shortcut or doing it a way that's not completely honest and calling something something else has been business as usual. It doesn't have to be that way. One day, I might own a company. And I would like my workplace not to be one of the industrial age, factory style, hourly wage, or salaried work environment. Everybody is valued in a company I would own. Lots of people have great ideas, but if you constantly look at them as a secretary or as a janitor, and you don't get their input or their thought, you're sometimes missing out on the best idea ever. If we treat each other with respect and have knowledge of uniqueness and individuality being essential to our existence on earth, we will be fine. When people start chipping away at that and wanting homogenization and generica, we're losing the special thing that we are. And in this fight of fights, I have to say, if there's anything worth fighting for, it's our own individuality and freedom and uniqueness, because it's a gift from God. We are unique. Our specific DNA code will never be repeated ever in the existence of our world. That's pretty big. So you may not find yourself feeling like you're very special, or say you're just this or just that. God made you the way that you are because He knew that you needed your own self. To remind you of how very special you are. You can look at a flock of geese, and at first they all look the same, or seagulls. But if you look closely, you'll notice one has a limp. Maybe one's even missing a leg. One has more droopy eyes. One has the collar a little bit higher. Each of those birds is living their own life and thinking independently of all the other birds. And it does not have restrictions on how high it can fly or where it can sit and rest or how loud it can quack or call. Man puts restriction on man. And some would say, it's the executive branch's job. It is. We should reflect on what it is that makes a consequence a good thing. If the answer is for government to generate money, that might not necessarily be the best enforcement policy. A fine for littering is a great idea, because the fine encourages people to take care of our earth, and it reinforces the idea of doing something good. In the back of my mind, I knew there would be a 23rd hospitalization. And so it has passed. OSU is the place that has ruined my life, with a diagnosis of unspecified schizophrenia, based on the fact that when the doctors go and look or call the police and ask, are there any reports on file? They say no, because mine are all deleted or not present, or they become a miscellaneous incident, which is basically saying no crime has occurred. There's real crime in my neighborhood, and people were encouraged to break the law because people pretended to be the government. This whole thing is going to make the neighborhood probably group vomit when they realize what's happened. I don't want to relive the past, but I do need to move forward. And there's only one way that that's going to happen. It's with the truth coming out. Something I've been saying since day one. I don't know if I'll get there, but I'm not going to give up trying. Because I care about me enough to work hard for that. I never felt I would need to ever work for a right that's guaranteed. I look at freedom in a different way today, and what it means to me, because of my experience. One day, I will be able to smile again. And sit at a beach. And just think about nothing. And listen to the waves. And hear only God that silently reassures me of what I need to do. We are not to be telling each other what to do inside of our heads, inside of each other's heads. The very real possibility of AI controlling R&M is very, very scary. Because the AI, artificial intelligence, can in fact speak to us in our own voice. You might say, oh, what's that for? It's so that the government or military can speak to you, and you would think it's yourself talking. Which it is, but that the idea came from you. That's pretty twisted. Because that means that we're being fed a set of ideas to then think we came up with, but are really told to us in the most sophisticated and mind-bending advertisement campaign. Billboards used to be the advertisement. Now it's our head? I don't know. That seems a little too far. And it's something I'm willing to fight for. Because freedom of mind means that we still have God in the world. If we're going to allow ourselves to be told a set of expectations from a computer that talks to us in our own voice, if we're willing to go that route, we've just eliminated the influence of God in our lives. Because who's going to tell us something different? Or who's going to invent something because they thought of it? When we mess with the mind to control, to dominate, for whatever purpose, we're making ourselves robots for somebody else's bidding. People have a tough enough time with self-image. Imagine the realization that you no longer have free will, or that your mind is not just yours anymore. Think, people, because it's important. Only you can make a difference by supporting the idea that your body is your own and that your mind is off limits to other people. If we don't respect our bodies, nobody else will. And as we emerge into a new era, where we think about the possibility first, and then the possible untruth after, or doubt after, we must remember what we are. Humans. And have pride in it. And experience it the way God meant us to. If we don't keep God in it, we're going to be somebody else's property. So think for yourself. And young people out there, and old people, I'll give you a little tip. God speaks to you all the time. He's that silent voice that is in you, and you can feel it. It's known as your intuition. Some people call it the good angel on your shoulder. If you hear a voice inside your head, and if it's your own actual voice, do not think for a minute that it's either God or yourself. It would be the military. We live in a new era where things are possible. And the sooner we realize it, the farther we're going to go. God bless you all, and have a good night.